Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Racer Report with head coach Chris Hatcher. Big win for the Racers over the weekend, 86-29 against Kentucky Wesleyan. Now, Coach will join us in just a moment, but first, let's get you caught up on what is coming up for the Murray State Racers, and it's another home game back-to-back weeks this week. As the Racers come home Saturday, they take on UT Martin, back to OVC play. This is always a big rival game, and we'll kick it off at 1 o'clock here at Roy Stewart Stadium on Saturday. And then a week from Saturday, November the 8th, the Racers hit the road for a noon game in Charleston, Illinois, as they take on Eastern Illinois. And that'll bring us to our time with head coach Chris Hatcher. Nothing like being a Racer on a Saturday night after a big win. We got to experience that on Saturday. A big win for the Racers, 86-29. Of course, it set the modern scoring record that the Racers had set in 2013 against Campbellsville. But 86 points, Coach, I don't think it's not so much about the points, but it was about your team finding themselves again and kind of getting back on track before you get into these last tough 4 games.
No question about it. It was a great win for us. Every win's a great win. Right. It doesn't matter who your opponent is. I thought that, Kentucky Wesleyan, they were very well coached. Their boys played extremely hard. Defensively, we really struggled there in the second quarter with them, and they had 3 really nice scoring drives on us to keep the game close at half. And then the second half, we kind of woke up a little bit more and put the game away early in the third quarter. But all night offensively, we scored every time we got the ball except the last 2 times of the first half. We turned it over 1 time, and then we ran out of time on the heave. We tried to throw the Hail Mary in the end zone, but we ran the ball well. Defensively, we came out, we shut them out in the second half, and we had big explosive plays on the special teams. And that was the reason, to me, that the score was so lopsided.
That's right, because we're going to go ahead and roll the highlights here and take a look at it. But that was one reason that I think the score got high, was because the Racers scored, 3 or 4 special team touchdowns. We're going to show you the first one here. And this is a young man that caught his first touchdown pass in the SEMO game, Taquavius Walker. Watch him go here. This young man, really excited. He's doing number 17 credit, because that's the one Marcus Harris used to wear.
Well, he looks like Marcus Harris.
He does,
but
a little bit.
He reminds me of Walter Powell when Walter was a freshman. He's an explosive player. We knew they were going to kick it to that side. This is the first week we ever put him back as a return man. And plus, some friends of mine in town, they won the Parker $10,000 with that kickoff return. So it was really good to see. But we score on the opening kickoff. We get them to punt the ball to us, and then we come out here and we had a few penalties that occurred. And then we overcame a third and really long play there with a touchdown pass to Janowski Davis to take the lead at 14-0.
Yeah, that was a 37-yard touchdown pass. But like you mentioned, and I was really impressed with Kentucky Wesleyan. They had a great idea about what they wanted to do in offense.
They did.
And they've got some athletes for their level, too.
Well, they do. Well, number 4 here, the receiver, he could play it on any team in the OVC. The quarterback was tough. They couldn't run it on us at all. But we made some busts in the back end. We tried to play some younger guys early in the game. But they did a good job. But our defense held there. We held them to a field goal. And here Pokey gets the ball. Pokey Harris had 184 yards rushing. Also had a big kickoff return for a touchdown. But our O-line, they really controlled the tempo of the game. So here we are. We forced them to punt on a 3-and-out. And Janowski Davis got some good blocks. There's one by Zach Shipley. And you can't see that we got a couple more. Demetric Johnson got a key block there. And all of a sudden, we're really rolling with these explosive plays on the special teams.
Yeah, at this point it was 21-3. And then here's the extra point by Carson Greifenkamp. He did kick a couple of field goals there. I think that was the one, the point after they missed, though.
Yeah, that was the only one we missed. Yeah. He kind of pushed it to the right a little bit. And, we were feeling really good. I mean, we're in complete control of the game. But, they're doing a nice job of converting on a couple third downs. They really found their rhythm on about 4 drives in the game. Other than that, we did a nice job. And right here, we brought the safety blitz, and then the free safety actually was out of position there. So they score them a touchdown. We go into the second quarter. And, the big thing was just to get the ball in our offense's hand. Our offense had a great night, 720 yards of offense. We get a 3rd and short play there, a little throw out to Paul Rice, junior out of St. Louis. We come back, we fake it in here to Marcus Holliday.
Faked our cameraman.
Well, I know it. Sometimes it fakes me out. And KD was excited about his spin move, so
he was.
He does a good job in the open field running the ball. Again, a good slant throw there to Jeremy Harness, who had a good night. They really overplayed our trip side. So we went down here, we went trips right, ran the ball back to the weak side, and Marcus Holliday knocks it on in for a touchdown.
Well, you can see it was just an outstanding day for the Racers. The weather was great. We had a good crowd. I love playing this afternoon football. But then Kentucky Wesleyan comes back, and they had a little something going too.
Yeah, well, it just poor tackling and our safeties. I don't really think they played real well, Dave, in the second quarter. And, we didn't have a lot of emotion on defense, but we come back, to me, a mark of guys that play hard. Our guys, how they do on the PAT, and we get a block there. That was Zach Dean getting the block, and then they kick off to us. They try to kick it to the other side, and watch here. Pokey Harris breaks 5 tackles.
They look like bowling pins.
We get a good block there by Joey Sikora, and he gets a convoy into the end zone, and that was a really fine play. You talk about a highlight reel play. Pokey Harris answers, with their touchdown. But here they get out there, we miss a tackle, and we do get the guy corralled. We lose contain here. Again, they're doing a nice job of executing, and they end up knocking it in again. And all of a sudden, you kind of find yourself that they got a little momentum. So it's 41-22 at the time. We block another one. This time, Felton Collins knocks it down. So we got to come right back. Here's a guy, Jordan Gandy, a guy that's going to be a really good receiver for us. He's a freshman, true freshman, comes in, makes a big play, and then all of a sudden the old turnover bug hits us again. And really, this was the only time all night we were stopped. They're aided by a couple penalties on the defensive side, and now, golly, boy, we're still in control of the game, but we're not as the score right. Is a little closer than I would have liked it going in at the half. We're up by 11, Dave.
Yeah, actually, absolutely. 41-29. We go into the second half, and you could tell on an afternoon game at Stewart Stadium, at some point the entire field becomes shadow, and then you'll run into daylight here a little bit. But this was a great play. I think this was the first drive of your third quarter. Katie makes a nice decision just to keep it.
Well, we came out and we got to stop defensively and got good field position, and really good block there by Marcus Holliday. One thing, we knew we could run the ball. We made no offensive adjustments at half. We scored every time we got it other than the fumble, and then we ran out of time there at the end of the half. But great run there by Pokey Harris. However, we get a penalty. We give up a sack, and then it was good to see Carson Greifenkamp come in and kick a 40-yard field goal. So we're back in control. Here we get a good sack there by Felton Collins. We miss on the safety blitz. We run the little draw play, a little pitch to Marcus Holliday. He gets good blocking. Mitch Stoltz to Quavius Walker, knocks it on in, and we really go on a tear here. We shut them down the entire second half, and we finish the ball game, and we win the game 57 points, which is kind of what we had planned on doing going into the ball game.
Yeah, probably so. So then the point taken on a hop there by Janowski Davis. Racers moving here again. And Stoltz here, boy, he's been really good for you.
That actually was Zach Shipley there.
Shipley,
came
sorry.
in, and he's been playing well. So is
right.
Stoltz, and KD takes it in on the zone read. They brought a safety blitz. He did a good job of recognizing that they had us outnumbered at the point of attack. So we stop them again defensively and get a nice run up the middle to Pokey Harris. Really good job here of KD checking to the outside zone. Really good job of pressing the hole.
Great blocking there, too.
And good vision. Marcus Holliday takes it in for his third touchdown of the game. And, we're really rolling. But to me, it was good to see us answer at the half, because we played so well offensively, but we had the one bad quarter defensively. But the second half, our defense really showed up to play. Here, The game's pretty much over. We're just trying to run the clock out. We put a lot of backups in, and there's C.J. Bennett makes a nice throw to Jeremy Harness down to the 1-yard line, and then he calls his own number. And with the point after attempt, Evan McCombs comes in. He's a freshman kicker out of Graves County, Dave. We stuck him in there to kick a little bit, and we go up 79-29. And then we're emptying the benches. You know, we've been doing that the past couple series. And these guys, boy, they really want to play. There was Nick Taylor on the run, and then here goes Nick again, and he's going to be a dynamic player for us, just a freshman.
You know, Coach, it ends up being an 86-29 final, and we'll go ahead and put up the box score here and let everybody see the final numbers. But you've got some young guys that we're just beginning to see, Walker, Nick there, and some other guys. Your boat's pretty full here. Going forward in the next season and even in 2016?
You know, the biggest problem we have right now is just a lack of maturity on the entire football team. You know, we have 12, 13 seniors there that are kind of holding the fort down, but we had 35 new players show up to camp, and some of these guys are just coming into their own right now. Nick Taylor, DeQuavius Walker, Jordan Gandy, Cedric Jones, you know, guys like that we feel really good. Well, I think we've done a really good job of recruiting, especially at the skill positions. We're going to lose some good linemen next year, but these guys, they got to learn to win. You know, one of the problems we have is you got to be careful, you know, not to get their dauber down too low after defeat, but it needs to hurt. And we're trying to find that fine line as a coaching staff because they are young, and we don't want them to lose their confidence. And this upcoming game is going to be a really big test to see how far maturity level-wise that we've risen through this first part of the season.
It's a big game. Racers at home against UT Martin on Saturday. We'll kick it off here at the stadium at 1 o'clock. We'll take a break now and come back with the second half in just a moment. The Racer Report with Chris Hatcher is brought to you by Ruth Brothers Wine and Spirits. Serving you for 50 years, Ruth Brothers with 2 locations in Paducah, Kentucky. And by Pepsi Mid-America. Share your summer pics on Twitter with hashtag RealBigSummer. And by Campus Evolution Villages in Murray, the best in student living. Call 270-767-1818 to plan your tour and visit. And by Kentucky Community and Technical College System. Higher education begins here.